Chapter 51, End of Battle. The players were exhausted, they had been battling for over 4 hours straight. During the battle many players received notifications of exhaustion and that they should leave the game to rest for at least 20 minutes before returning. When gamers saw these notifications, at first they were frustrated with the game that was practically kicking them out of the fun, but when they came out and saw how sweaty they were in real life, gamers were happy with Minecraft for even taking the well-being of them into account. While other games just wanted players to spend as much time online as possible, Minecraft demonstrated that it would rather have players stay healthy than spend several hours online. When Herobrine disappeared, the players saw Notch flying towards the main square of Hypixel and they also went there. After all, they wanted to know who would receive the golden apple. Notch was watching the players coming towards the square with a smile. As big as the square was, it would be impossible to fit millions of players at the same time, so the players started climbing the buildings around the city to get the best view of the city. Notch, and also so that Notch could see them and they would have a better chance of receiving the apple. The players were quite noisy as they chatted about who would have contributed the most. Some believed it was the players who led, others believed it was the players who fought on the front lines, some even thought the logistics people were the people who contributed the most. When most of the players got close to Notch, he raised his hand and the players fell silent. Find new stories on Novi.com. Citizens of Hypixel, first of all, thank you very much to everyone who participated in this battle. Unfortunately, I am unable to give a gift as valuable as the golden apple to each of you, but know that if I could, I would definitely give one to each of you. Notch began by thanking the players. As I can't give a golden apple, I'll give you another gift, so that at least in Hypixel you will be recognized as the brave warriors who risked their own lives to protect the city. This cape will be given for free to everyone who participated in the battle of yesterday and today. Notch said as he held out his hand and a white cape with a big golden H appeared in front of all the players. This H could either be interpreted as a hero or as a Hypixel. As soon as players saw the white cape appearing in front of Notch, a request appeared in front of their eyes. Do you want to accept the Hypixel hero cape? This cape is limited. This question was just a formality, as soon as this message appeared, all players accepted the cape and started equipping it. In an instant, in Notch's vision as he was flying, players who had previously had several different colors were now more uniformed with virtually everyone wearing this white cape. Although this white cape is prettier than regular capes, as all players received this cape it was not uncommon. But the smartest players knew that in a few years, when Minecraft had hundreds of millions of players, only they would have this cape would demonstrate how rare it was. Finally, the last gift will go to the player who contributed the most to today's battle. First I will ask him, do you want your name to be revealed to the other players? Notch asked. At that moment a floating screen appeared in front of Clint. As the other players were fiddling with the game's menu to fix the cape, Clint also pretended he was changing the cape and refused. Notch saw Clint's response and continued. Unfortunately, the player refused to have his identity revealed, but know that this player was the one who killed the most monsters in this battle, in addition to getting the elimination in both Ender Dragons. Players were surprised to hear this. In the next few minutes Notch just thanked the players and said that the Hypixel would go into maintenance for 24 hours to fix what was destroyed by the battle. Minecraft would still work normally, but Hypixel would be offline for a day. Of course, Notch said it would bring some fun news after the update. Hearing this the players were frustrated, but after spending so many hours at war, not even they were too excited to play the server minigames and just wanted to disconnect to rest. As the players exited Minecraft, Clint and Natasha also logged out, but instead of playing at their house, they were in a special room set up by S.H.I.E.L.D. Once the battle at Hypixel began, hundreds of agents were dispatched to participate, mainly to gather more information. While Natasha returned to the real world exactly as she had logged into the game, Clint had something different on his hand. Just as he saw in Notch's hand, there was a golden apple between his fingers. For a second Clint had to resist the urge to take a bite of that apple and confirm that it really had the effects Notch had described, but he resisted that urge and got up with Natasha to head toward Nick Fury's office. Nick had assigned this mission to the two of them, to get this golden apple so that the SHIELD scientists could study it and see if the effects were real, and if the effects were proven, see if it would be possible to mass manufacture these apples. With this apple's effect of doubling the user's strength, even if this wasn't as effective as the super soldier serum, this was still much better than having nothing. And having an army of 1,000 agents doubled in strength by apples like that would be a pretty sizable force in any country. Chapter 52, New Battle Royale? Alex knew that the person who received the golden apple was Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye, the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. And he didn't care too much about what S.H.I.E.L.D. was going to try to do with the apple, as System had confirmed that items made by System could not be replicated, only used as inspiration. For a world where there is already a super soldier serum, there is no shortage of inspiration for these people. As S.H.I.E.L.D. worked crazily and Minecraft players finally rested, Alex started looking at Minecraft sales. Minecraft. 19,200,000 games sold, $384 million. Average time played, 6 hours. Peak concurrent players, 14,051,165. Total earned on sold servers, $1,120,143. Total earned in VIPs, $61,510,275. The smile on Alex's face was huge. I'm rich. He squealed happily while bouncing in the same spot. With a quick account made in his head, Alex saw that with the sales of Minecraft alone he already had 1.92 million gaming points, and with VIPs this figure rises to more than 2 million gaming points. With this amount of GP I can finally make a AAA game without worrying about the quality. I can even add several features that didn't exist in the original games to surprise the audience even more. Alex said as he thought through the possibilities. Although to make a game as great as I am imagining, I will need a lot of time. Even with systems help to speed up the process, to implement more practical and innovative things for users I will need a lot of research and a lot of testing. Alex realized it wouldn't be that simple. His goal was to make an open-world MMORPG game. And not just a game like that, but also making this world so complete that players could treat this other world like a second life. The main factor that encouraged Alex to do this was something he had seen a few days ago. Time dilation, 10% is equal to 1 million GP. Initially Alex was confused to see this feature, but when he saw the description of it he was shocked. 10% time dilation means that while in the real world 100 minutes pass, in the game world 110 minutes pass. That's 10% more time. Visit novelbin.c.m for updates. If he bought 1000% time dilation, 1 hour in the real world would be 10 hours in the game world. As long as a person played 12 hours a day while sleeping, the game would take 5 full days. This would practically be an amplification of the lives of people on Earth, as they would have a total of 132 hours a day. Even if the person was not interested in the game, that person would want to enter the world to study, rest or do various other activities. For people who had to work every day, this would be the equivalent of working for a day and resting for 5 days in the game, a dream life for anyone. Alex was very excited about this idea. Of course, he didn't have enough money for a 1000% time dilation. At most he could start with 10 or 20% as time dilation was very expensive, but in the future he was confident of increase that time dilation and virtually provide eternal life for players. For now I need to study this game better, but as Minecraft has already reached a peak in sales, I can use part of my free time to develop a simpler game. After all, since Minecraft can already be independent, I can use these GP to invest in another game that will bring me more profit. Alex said thoughtfully. The MMORPG idea was very ambitious. This was something he wouldn't be able to do in a few days, so to have another game in his portfolio Alex opened the game development program and started developing the next game. Alex saw that many players liked Hunger Games on Hypixel, but as the chests were always in the same position and the only thing players could do was grab chests and hit each other, the graphics showed that this was the first minigame that 90% of Hypixel players played when they joined the server, but 70% of those players stopped playing this minigame after 3 rounds. From this data, Alex deduced that the Battle Royale mode was a very popular idea among gamers, but since Hunger Games didn't have a lot of variety, people were disappointed and stopped playing after a few rounds. With this demand for Battle Royale I have some game options I can make to supply these people. Alex said with his hand on his chin. In his previous world there were 4 games that dominated this mode. The first game was Fortnite, which was very successful in first world countries, as it was a game with a heavier graphics and you needed a good computer to be able to build faster. Fortnite's buildings are a great differentiator of the game that add a lot to the variation of gameplay, as it's something that players need to learn to become more competitive. The second game was PUBG, which was very famous among people who had difficulty building, in addition to having very realistic physics for shots and for the characters, which gave the game a more serious tone for the players. The third game was Apex Legends, which had a big difference because each character had different abilities that made the gameplay unique. Finally, there is Free Fire, which was a Chinese game for cell phones with a weaker graphic that was very successful among underdeveloped countries where the population did not have the money to buy powerful computers to play other games. Looking at the 4 alternatives, Alex had no doubt what game he would make for this world. After all, disregarding the limitations players had in his previous world, there was only one game that provided exactly what Alex wanted. His players feel. With a battle royale game I can earn money by selling skins and battle pass. Heh, this can even be more profitable than Minecraft. Alex chuckled at the thought of how much money players would spend on the game he was going to make. Chapter 53, Fortnite. Having decided which game he was going to make, Alex wasted no time and started development on that game. Unlike when he was making Minecraft, this time Alex didn't have to worry about not having enough GP. When he made Minecraft, Alex only had enough GP for him to put in some shaders and other simpler settings, and then with the game's sales increasing he added more stuff to the point that Minecraft reached the state it is today. But this time it would be different. Alex wasn't going to spend all the GP he had making this game, at least he didn't intend to spend all the GP he had at once. Battle Royale Basic, 2000 gaming points. Advanced Battle Royale, 20,000 gaming points. Battle Royale AAA, 200,000 gaming points. Without a second thought Alex chose to do a Battle Royale AAA for 200,000 gaming points. As soon as he spent that money, in the game development program a lot of features were unlocked for him to use. Weapons, vests, helmets, scenery elements, countless different things appeared for Alex. Now that he had experience in game development, it was much easier for Alex to start developing this new game. First he started developing the game's map. One thing Alex knew was very important for the game was that there were landmarks on the map, like a school, a few small towns scattered around, a chair, a factory, forests, rivers, and many other things. As the game was made to be played in a virtual reality instead of a computer screen, Leo had to enlarge the size of the map to make everything a little more realistic, but he didn't increase it much so that the duration of the games wouldn't be longer. Very large. The idea of using a flying school bus to bring players in was something Alex found very creative and also decided to use. So Alex focused on the game developer and didn't even notice how many hours had passed in real life. When his belly was already begging for food, Alex finally snapped back to reality with a satisfied smile. Okay, even though the game is not ready, I can already start promoting the game to attract players interested in playing. Alex said as he started to plan how he could make an interesting trailer. Ha ha ha, he's going to be pissed when he finds out about this, but it's going to be really funny. Alex came up with a genius idea to attract both the Minecraft audience to the new game and to attract a new audience. In a luxurious Malibu mansion, a man was working with some mechanical components while listening to some classic rock songs. The way this man worked with these components was very skillful, as if this man had been used to doing this sort of thing for several years. Suddenly the man remembered something and asked aloud to the void. Jarvis, tell me, what did you find out about Minecraft? Then a voice came from the speakers where the music was being played. Unfortunately, I couldn't crack the Minecraft source code, Mr. Stark, not even their website could be hacked. Hearing this, the man finally stopped what he was doing and asked once more. What's the latest Minecraft news? According to reports around the world, the amount of people paying to play Minecraft is growing exponentially. It is estimated that in the near future the game could reach a volume of at least $1 billion in sales. Jarvis replied respectfully. Hearing this, the man, Tony Stark, raised an eyebrow in surprise. He never imagined that a game company could grow so much in such a short time, especially with technology that not even Jarvis could decipher. Doesn't that mean that this game company's technology is even better than that of Stark Industries? Jarvis, what's the name of the company that produced Minecraft? Tony asked. The company is called Mojang, Mr. Stark. Jarvis replied. Hearing the company name, Tony thought aloud. Mojang, if I'm not mistaken, this is Swedish. What does Mojang, Jarvis, mean? Mojang means gadget in English, Mr. Stark. Is the company Swedish? Tony asked Finn the news and ovals on Welben.com. The location of the company has not yet been confirmed. Hearing these details, Tony could no longer think of any other way to further study this company with technology as inexplicable as Minecraft's other than playing the game. Jarvis, buy me Minecraft, I plan to test this game to see how it works. Tony ordered. Mr. Stark, I think it might be more interesting for you to play something other than Minecraft. Jarvis persuaded. Tony was confused and asked. Because? Jarvis explained. Maybe you are interested in the trailer for their next game. Before Tony could ask another question, a trailer appeared on the big screen in the garage where he was. In the trailer, a movie began to play. Tony was surprised by the image quality of this film, not even movie cameras could record something with such a good image. But when Tony saw the small print in the corner of the screen, he was surprised. Actual gameplay footage. This is not a movie with real people, but a game graphic. Not even Minecraft has such good graphics. Is this Mojang's new game? Tony mentally asked himself as he continued to watch. In the trailer, a group of 4 people were coming out of a shed with the camera focused on their backs. A woman in a hoodie, a woman in a pink teddy bear costume, a retro blue robot, and a man with a banana head wearing a stylish suit. Each of the 4 was holding a heavy weapon in their hands as the light outside the shed grew brighter. Until the moment they left the shed, it was possible to see a man flying in front of them wearing red and gold armor with a bright chest and eyes. Tony Stark. Chapter 54. 54, Shocking Trailer. Tony Stark was seeing that red and gold armor flying across the game screen and had to look to the side to be sure. Seeing the Mark III armor safely tucked away, he relaxed, but soon he saw that the armor's appearance in the trailer video for that game was identical to his armor. Shit, who gave this Mojang the rights to wear my armor? And since when did I become a villain? Tony Stark asked, yelling angrily. The Mojang company never bought the rights to use your armor in the game, Mr. Stark. Jarvis replied politely, ignoring how Tony was acting. Tony was furious. He'd heard of some street vendors selling pirated Iron Man merchandise without paying him royalties, but he never imagined that anyone would be brave enough to wear his armor in a game for free. Worst of all is that the company of this game didn't even announce that they would use his armor in the game, they just used it and posted it. Without a second thought, Tony took out his cell phone and called Pepper Potts as soon as possible. What he immediately wanted was for the Stark Industries legal team to find the person responsible for Mojang and sue them for using the Iron Man armor image without the due rights. But of course, this task for Tony would be impossible since the Mojang company didn't even have a headquarters in this world, let alone have someone responsible for a legal part where he could be sued. Alex was practically in a tortoiseshell, a place where not even the Supreme Sorcerer could find him with little searching time, a place where neither Heimdall nor Odin could see with their magical eyes, let alone ordinary humans could find him for sense some kind of process. But while Tony Stark was furious at how unashamed Mojang was to copy his armor in this game, players around the world were shocked. Most people had known Minecraft just a few days ago and were still marveling at how amazing this game was, how magical the technology was to be able to see distant friends and relatives in this other world, and suddenly a floating screen appeared in front of them. There. Notch invites you to see a trailer for a game he developed. At this point, the name Notch was as famous as Minecraft. Perhaps in some places Notch might even be more famous than Minecraft, as around the world, as Minecraft was becoming successful, small vendors started developing simple plush or plastic Notch and Herobrine toys, and many children enjoyed playing Minecraft at school using their dolls. Unfortunately, system did not yet have an option to sell toys to maximize its profit. But Alex already had an idea to do that when he went to Earth in the future. But with so many sellers making Minecraft toys, the name of Notch and Herobrine was already very famous in the world, so when players saw that the legendary Notch sent them a request, many people didn't even read the message and accepted. While people who weren't in Minecraft had to watch the trailer via YouTube, those inside the game had a different experience. Ned was live now, there were over 100k viewers watching him play Skyblock. As most people hadn't killed the Ender Dragon yet, they had a lot of fun watching Ned play Skyblock and learning things from them as he got stronger. The progression part of Skyblock was much more addictive than regular Minecraft, as in Skyblock players could improve everything from the size of the island, like how much money they would get by planting things on the island and selling them, to how fast they could be. They broke blocks that would earn them more money. Everything could be improved, which made people who played completely addicted to this mode. Suddenly a message appeared on Ned's screen, surprising both him and the viewers who followed him. Notch invites you to see a trailer for a game he's developed. Notch has developed a new game. Ned was shocked after reading the notification. Damn, I haven't even played Minecraft and Notch has ever made another game. Is this new game also in another world like Minecraft? I don't think so, it must be so hard to make Minecraft this way, make another one game like Minecraft would probably take more than 10 years. Maybe it really could be another game like Minecraft, after all, no one knows how Notch made Minecraft, it's possible he really is a god who makes worlds. Viewers' comments were divided between people who believed the new game was like Minecraft, like it was another world, while others thought the new game was perhaps a regular computer game. As one of Notch's most hardcore fans, Ned didn't even think twice before clicking through to see the trailer Notch uploaded, Finn the news and ovals on nwelbin.com. When he confirmed that he wanted to see the trailer, Ned, who was on his island in Skyblock, suddenly felt his vision go black, everything around disappeared, he couldn't see anything. Suddenly, a sound came from in front of him and a garage door opened from the bottom up. As the door started to open, the light outside began to pour in and Ned saw that there were 4 people in front of him. From left to right there was a blue robot, a man in a suit with a banana head, a woman in a pink teddy bear costume, and a girl with a hoodie covering her head. The 4 people were holding firearms in their hands, which made Ned quite scared, as he had never seen a gun in his life. But suddenly he felt a weight in his hand and saw that he was also holding a machine gun. When the garage door finally opened, a man wearing red and gold armor was flying in front of him. The 4 people in front of Ned suddenly pointed their guns at the flying man in the armor and the man in the armor aimed his glowing hands at the people as if to fire an energy beam. Ned also subconsciously pointed his gun at the man in the armor before his vision went black and he returned to his island in the Skyblock. Both Ned and his live stream chat were shocked. They were used to Minecraft, which as much as it had monsters, it was still a medieval-themed sword game, but personally getting into a shooter made Ned's blood boil as his legs went weak. Finally the chat reacted. Damn, that was Iron Man. Ned wanted to kill Iron Man. Was Iron Man going to kill Ned and his teammates? What the hell kind of awesome game is that? At this point there were approximately 8 million players online in Minecraft, and at least 6 million watched the trailer. Considering people watching the live streams of people playing Minecraft, there were at least 10 million people who watched the trailer for this new game within the first minute of launch. The video Alex posted for players to watch was linked to a YouTube link, meaning the Fortnite trailer reached 10 million views in less than 1 minute. The next minute a bomb exploded on the internet. The new game from Minecraft's creator. Chapter 55, Rich. The Fortnite trailer launched and in 1 minute it reached over 10 million views. Upstory from n0vpoundin.com. The trailer was less than 60 seconds long, so as most people watched 100% of the video, YouTube's algorithm began to promote the video intensely, causing the video to have already reached 70 million views in 30 minutes. People who didn't already know about Minecraft became aware of the game because of the Fortnite trailer, and Minecraft sales that were already skyrocketing have now taken off for good. Hundreds of thousands of copies of Minecraft were sold every minute. Millions of new users downloaded this strange game and began to discover this new world to try to understand why it was so famous. This groundbreaking technology finally burst the bubble Shield tried to create and became known to the masses. Shit, order YouTube to delete this video now. Nick Fury screamed in rage, but Maria Hill knew it would do no good. Tony Stark was frustrated, as Pepper Potts said that Stark Industries lawyers were unable to locate anything related to Mojang, Minecraft or Fortnite. And while those people were having a lot of different impressions, old Minecraft players were going wild with the announcement of this new game. The Fortnite trailer could be played multiple times, so many players started watching the trailer inside Minecraft's virtual reality to feel what it feels like to hold a gun. Most people were very scared when they saw Iron Man pointing the laser guns at them, but despite being scared, the emotion they felt was unparalleled. This is amazing. As a gun collector I say with propriety that the gun we hold during the Fortnite trailer is a Colt Model 933. I don't mean to say that it's based on a Colt Model 933, but rather that it's a representation perfect weapon. Both the weight, even the temperature was perfect. If you have a passion for weapons like I do, you can test and confirm my point. Shortly after the trailer was released, several people started shooting video about various topics related to the trailer. People analyzing the weapons, analyzing Iron Man's armor, analyzing the environment, analyzing the background music, it's all been analyzed by these fanatical gamers. And while those players were spreading Minecraft even further, Alex was at home watching the aftermath of that trailer with a big smile on his face. Okay, the result is as good as I imagined. As most players are still discovering and getting to know Minecraft, I don't need to rush to launch Fortnite right away. Ideally, I release a few more teasers and develop a satisfying battle pass, plus some cool skins to make the game's launch event really good. Alex continued his planning while looking at the data. The Fortnite trailer reached 400 million views in the first 24 hours, while Minecraft, which had almost 20 million copies sold when the trailer was released, due to the bursting of the shield bubble, doubled the amount of sales, reached 40 million. Alex was watching his gaming points rise at a frightening rate. Despite having already spent 500k gaming points on the development of Fortnite, Alex looked at the system and was shocked at how many gaming points he had. 4.200.000 gaming points. 4 million. Alex said scared as he looked at that number. A few months ago he was still a poor guy who had to eat cup noodles to survive without spending too many gaming points. Now he already has 4 million. I know that 4 million isn't even a drop in the bucket to develop the metaverse I want in the future, but with so many extra points, I can refine Fortnite to a quality I couldn't even imagine. Alex said. What will it cost to do something like a virtual hub for my games? This idea came to Alex when he thought of a movie he watched in his previous life, Ready Player One, where players entered another world, and within that world they could teleport to other worlds, like a virtual hub. Just as Steam made the hub available for Steam VR, where the player entered a virtual mansion to choose which game he could play, Alex had the idea of doing that too, but making people's social interaction available through the hub, leaving everything online. When this idea first came up, Alex was quick to look into how much it would cost to develop this. But when finishing the simulation, Alex was shocked by the price of 10 million gaming points. This was not for the development of this hub, but to allow the integration of other games to the same hub. Okay, maybe I'm not as rich as I thought, but thinking about the speed I'm earning gaming points, it won't be impossible in the future, even more so when I have two games generating gaming points simultaneously. Alex got excited thinking about it. As he saw that he had so many gaming points, Alex returned to Fortnite development, but now with a much more wasteful mindset. While before he just chose a slightly simpler shaders to avoid so much expense, now Alex has made a variation of shaders available for the players to decide how they would want to see the game. As for the Battle Pass, Alex thought it would be interesting to use his favorite Battle Pass from Fortnite in his previous life, the Chapter 2 Season 2 Battle Pass, with the level 100 skin being Midas. The most interesting thing about this skin is that Midas has golden fingers, that is, every weapon that this skin holds is golden, and even if Midas throws the weapon away, the weapon remains golden for other players to take it, which was a very creative implementation. After finishing what he had to develop for the day, Alex saw that he still had over 4 million gaming points and decided to check out the skills shop again, to see some power or something else for him to buy, as he now had more confidence than go to a human city. Chapter 56, Shopping. Alex opened the system store and went back to looking at the things he could buy with gaming points. Gaming shop. Dominic Toretto driving skills, 3.000 gaming points. Elven breath, 5000 gaming points. Deadshot weapon mastery, 10.000 gaming points. Greyful Buster Ice Magic, 100.000 gaming points. Megumin Fire Magic, 500.000 gaming points. Netsu Dragneel Dragon Slayer Fire Magic, 1.000.000 gaming points. Those were the skills he had seen before. Thinking that Netsu Dragneel's skill seemed so expensive to him earlier, but now it had become something that he could buy for without even blinking an eye, made Alex quite satisfied. Of course, he still didn't intend to buy this skill. As much as Dragon Slayer Fire Magic is quite interesting, Alex was thinking of buying something less flashy first. As it would be the first time he visited the human world after he came to this world, Alex intended to buy some discrete power and some object that could help him deal with things if something got out of hand. As for the object, Alex already had something in mind. Autobot Bumblebee, 700.000 gaming points. Alex's eyes were shining as he looked at that option. Bumblebee perfectly fit what Alex needed for protection in the human world. Both Bumblebee's car form was extremely discreet, just looking like a sports car, and he could use weapons while still in car form to protect him, just looking like being a technologically modified car, and in very extreme situations, Bumblebee could still transform into his robot form, where he would have a plasma cannon on his wrist that caused a lot of destruction. In addition to Bumblebee, to feel safe without exposing too much, Alex also bought Dominic Toretto driving skills, 3000 gaming points, Deadshot weapon mastery, 10,000 gaming points, Glock G19, 1000 gaming points, Ammo.9mm X60, 200 gaming points. With Toretto driving skills, Alex felt he could control a car to do things he never thought possible before. With Deadshot weapon mastery and the Glock pistol, Alex felt safe dealing with ordinary humans without ever missing a shot, thus being able to deal with threats without killing the aggressor if it was not really necessary, further reducing the attention he would attract in the world. Now I'm just missing something to protect me from mental attacks. Alex thought as he looked at System's store of what he could buy. Snape's Occlumency Magic, 150.000 gaming points. Perfect. Alex thought excitedly. With this magic he could build mental barriers that would block both mental attacks and people trying to snoop into his mind. Seeing that there were quite a few Harry Potter spells, Alex seriously thought about buying other spells, as they weren't as expensive as Occlumency. Alohomora spell, 8.000 gaming points. Wingardium Leviosa spell, 10.000 gaming points. Episki spell, 14.000 gaming points. Accio spell, 20.000 gaming points. Apparate spell, 100.000 gaming points. Magic Wand, 500.000 gaming points. Vanley's Magic Proficiency, 1.000.000 gaming points. That's a little pricey, isn't it? Alex said with a slightly somber expression. With Bumblebee, Occlumency, and weapon skills, Alex had consumed almost 900,000 gaming points. If he were to buy other spells he would prefer to use Vanley's magic, as it would be much better in the long run, so increase his spending to at least 2 million of gaming points when adding the other spells. I think I can wait a while to get other spells. Alex complied, but set a goal of getting at least the main Harry Potter spells, as that was quite useful. Of course, he understood that he would also need to buy something else for this. Harry's Magic Power, 500.000 gaming points. Voldemort's Magic Power, 1.000.000 gaming points. Dumbledore's Magic Power, 3.000.000 gaming points. Damn, that's even more expensive. Alex's expression grew even darker, as he knew that he didn't have magic power in his body either, and that extremely expensive price from Dumbledore didn't mean that he would be as powerful as Dumbledore, either. Rather that he would only have the same amount of mana as Dumbledore. Okay, one thing at a time, I'm satisfied with what I'm going to buy. Alex nodded and activated Snape's Occlumency. Before long he felt a lot of knowledge coming to his mind, about how to build a mental shield, about Snape's experience building his mental shield, and even experience defending the mental shield. Alex was very excited about this, as apparently Occlumency relied on the caster's creativity to produce a very secure shield. That's like tower defense. Alex got excited as he thought of something. Instead of just building a big wall of protection, I can use the Fortnite save the world strategy and make a big path for the enemy to go through, but make that path so full of traps that even if it's open to my mind, it's almost impossible for him to reach after so many attacks. That way I could know where the enemy will go and concentrate my efforts in just one place, and if the enemy is really more powerful than me, he won't do so much damage trying to invade my mind, since that theoretically the path will be open. Alex got excited as he started to build. Despite having Snape's experience, Alex still needed 30 hours to complete the defense. It's finally done. Alex was a little tired, as he slept less than usual for that, but soon he bought a Shokugeki no Soma food that could revitalize his energy. In the last 30 hours, Minecraft sold another 5 million copies, which earned him another 500,000 gaming points. It wasn't enough to pay what he spent, but Alex already imagined that sales would stabilize for a while until some another such gigantic event happened again. Of course, while other companies would be screaming with joy at having low sales of 5 million units on the day, Alex just happened to feel that this was normal. With a Glock hidden in his belt, Alex went outside his cabin and made the purchase of Bumblebee, which he still hadn't confirmed. Upstority from N0V.com. By spending the 700,000 gaming points, as well as the dim light that appeared when he bought the Glock, a much bigger light appeared in front of his house. After a few seconds this light dimmed and a big yellow robot appeared in front of Alex. Despite being 5 meters tall, the large robot had round eyes glowing blue, looking at Alex curiously, which greatly lessened the oppression this large monster could cause. Hi B, I'm Alex. Alex introduced himself with a smile. The yellow robot raised its robotic eyebrows before waving its hand and preparing to respond, but nothing came out of its mouth, making the big robot embarrassed. Alex remembered that Bumblebee's communication system was broken, and since his cabin didn't have access to a radio signal, it was difficult for him to communicate. He quickly opened the system and saw that it only cost 20,000 gaming points to fix Bee's communication system, which Alex paid without thinking twice. Bumblebee saw a golden light appearing out of nowhere and something started to change inside him. Alex smiled once more and said, I guess now we can talk. Bee looked at Alex and tried to speak again. Hi. Chapter 57, B. Hearing his own voice, Bumblebee got excited and continued. Hello. I'm Bumblebee. Thanks for fixing my communication system. Alex walked over to Bee and shook his head. No need to thank me, I brought you here, it would be the least I could do for you. Bee looked around, confused, and asked. Where is here? I can't locate this place with my tracker. I would say this is the safest place in the world, my home. Of course, in a different world than yours. Alex explained, but without giving too much information. Bee obviously didn't quite understand what Alex meant by that. So, why did you bring me here? Not that I'm not grateful, as I've been looking for a place to hide from the Decepticons for a while. Alex nodded and explained. I needed someone to keep me company at home as much as I needed a car to take me around the world, so I thought you would be a good option. Of course, if you don't want it, I can send you back anytime. B was surprised by this. Was this human so powerful that he could bring him to another world just because he wanted company? If the Autobots could get such a powerful ally, perhaps they could finally stop the war with the Decepticons. Thinking that Alex was treating him very well despite being so powerful, Bumblebee got really excited and decided to befriend Alex. B has always been the youngest and most energetic Autobot. If it were other Autobots, maybe they would be more skeptical, but B loved to make friends, and seeing that this could be advantageous to the Autobots gave him even more advantage to do what he liked. No need to send me back, I want to stay here, B said excitedly. Alex smiled and took his cell phone. Do you think you can transform into this car here? Alex said as he turned the screen over and showed it to B. B looked at the cell phone screen and started scanning that car from that angle before speaking. Can you show me more images so I can scan the car from all angles? Alex nodded and showed a video that this car owner had posted of a 360-degree tour around the car, even with the custom interior. Visit novelbin.c.m for updates. B only needed 30 seconds to scan everything before starting the transformation into vehicle mode. Alex watched this with bright eyes, as he has always been a Transformers fan, and transforming robots was always so cool. The first time he transformed took a little longer, taking a total of 15 seconds to transform, but after that time, in front of Alex was a beautiful yellow Nissan GT-R 35 with Rocket Bunny body kit. Alex almost drooled while looking at this beautiful car. Even though Alex's cabin was surrounded by snow, B had changed the tires to off-road tires so that he could drive in this terrain without any problems. Is it like that, Alex? B asked excitedly. Even he had never transformed into such a beautiful car. He always preferred cars that were a little cute, according to the other Autobots, so finally transforming into such an imposing car made B quite proud. It's perfect, B. Alex said excitedly as he ran to the driver's door and got in the car. Looking around, Alex was shocked that B had managed to perfectly replicate the video he'd shown her, down to the smallest details of the interior. Of course, there was a difference. Instead of the GTR logo written on the steering wheel of the car, there was the Autobot logo in its place. Can I drive, B? Alex asked politely. After all, B was not just a car, but practically a real person. Sure, I'm dying to test this new look out on the road, Alex. B also responded excitedly. As B always transformed into more cute cars, he was never very fast due to lack of aerodynamics, but this new form of his made something in his body tremble. He wanted to experience speed. So let's go, Alex said excitedly as he stepped on the gas and drove towards the cave he had found a few days ago while practicing the elven breath for the first time. He knew that on the other side of the cave there could be a human civilization. He didn't know which one it was. It could be Marvel, it could be DC, or even it could be another world, but now he didn't care. He worked for so long he wanted to have fun. Due to the off-road wheels that befitted, Alex drove smoothly through the snow and into the cave. To his surprise, in this cave there was not just one tunnel, but several. Apparently only one of the tunnels was open, while the others were obstructed by rocks, which Alex just ignored and went to the open tunnel. In 5 minutes he and B saw a light on the other side. Alex, I can feel radio waves on the other side of the tunnel, B warned. Okay, B. Alex answered without worrying too much. When they exited the tunnel, they found themselves in a forest. Alex looked back in the rearview mirror and noticed that when he pulled away from the tunnel, it became invisible. B, save the location of the tunnel please, I think we'll need it when we go back, Alex warned. Okay, that's already saved, B replied. Finally, after a few more minutes they finally came out of the forest. Seeing a large two-way lane that stretched for several kilometers in a straight line, Alex didn't even care where he was and warned B. B, can you change the tires to something sportier? Before B could answer, Alex felt the car getting lower. It's done, let's go. Seeing that B was also so excited, Alex smiled and shouted as he stepped on the accelerator. Let's go. Ha ha ha. On that straight road, Alex floored the pedals as he heard B's exhaust making a deafening rumble. In less than 4 seconds the car was almost 200 km per hour, 120 miles per hour. Despite the speed, Alex still felt the G-force spinning him to the seat in the same way, which meant that the car still maintained the same acceleration. In 6 seconds they were at 300 km per hour, 180 miles per hour, but Alex didn't feel that the acceleration was slowing down. At 8 seconds B reached 400 km per hour, 250 miles per hour, where Alex finally felt the acceleration slowing down. At 10 seconds the acceleration finally stabilized. They were traveling at 480 km per hour, 300 miles per hour. Alex felt that his heart was almost bursting out of his mouth, with so much adrenaline he was feeling. Yahoo! Alex squealed excitedly as B blasted "Murder in My Mind" to full blast on the radio. Of course, a normal GTR couldn't reach that speed, and even if it could, the probability that the tires wouldn't hold up or the car would lose stability due to a small mistake would be huge. But B wasn't a normal car, he was an Autobot with technology thousands more developed than the car makers on Earth. If it weren't for Alex stopping accelerating so much, even though the acceleration has slowed down, reach 600 km per hour, 370 miles per hour, would be no problem. The two were extremely excited. Alex was seeing a red 1962 Corvette in the distance in front of him, but in a few seconds he passed it without being able to see any features of the driver. On the side of the Corvette was a sign reading, "Welcome to Salem Center. We are at the beginning of the month, the best time to join the Patreon." Chapter 58, He's So Powerful. Swoosh. The two people who were in the Corvette only saw a yellow flash passing by at a frightening speed. Just the wind caused by the car's rear vacuum was enough to make the Corvette destabilize. Looking at the speedometer, the driver of the Corvette was shocked to realize he was going 160 kilometers per hour, 100 miles per hour, and when this yellow car passed them it was as if they were standing still. "Fuck, Scott, what the fuck was that?" A boy with blue hair said in shock as he looked at the yellow car disappearing into the distance. Scott, who was sitting in the driver's seat, was still shocked. He was always proud of his 1962 Corvette. Even though it was an old car, Scott had already taken that car to the track reach ing to 30 km/h, 140 miles per hour, a few times. But this was the first time he was so shocked to be overtaken by someone. "I think it was a Nissan GTR, but that sure wasn't pure," Scott said to Kurt beside him. "Do you have any doubts? We are doing 100 miles per hour and that GTR passed us like we were standing still. At least it was doing 220 miles per hour. Damn." Kurt was excited to remember. "They say in La these cars are pretty common, but I don't think even La cars could keep up with this crazy guy," Scott commented. After a few minutes of talking about it, Scott and Kurt officially entered the city. "Hey Scott, look over there." Kurt pointed in one direction. Scott was curious, but when he looked, the heart of a car enthusiast like him began to race. Parked on the side of the road was a beautiful Nissan GTR R35. Not only was the original car beautiful, but this model had a Rocket Bunny body kit as well as some decals which added to the car's attractiveness even further. Next to the car was a boy with messy greyish-white hair. Strangely his eyes were red and his teeth were a bit elongated, like a small animal's. Like the cover of the book. As much as these characteristics were strange individually, in the boy it seemed quite harmonic. Despite having such a distinguished appearance, the boy was just leaning against the car while holding a glass of Coke in one hand and biting into a large slice of pizza in the other hand, with a very happy expression. Due to the boy's appearance, he looked to be no older than 20, which was pretty close to Kurt and Scott's age, and added to the fact that the boy was driving that beautiful Nissan GTR, Scott didn't think twice about pulling into the spot next to the boy's car. Seeing the red Corvette pull up beside him, the boy glanced at it with a raised eyebrow and looked curiously at the driver. Scott smiled as he got out of the car and greeted the boy. "Hey bro, what a monster you driving, huh?" Scott said excitedly as he pointed to the GTR. Normally Scott was a very serious and reserved person, but when it came to cars, Scott's heart was back to being like a child's. The boy who was eating next to the car smiled, with the small fangs of animals, and replied, "B is really a little monster, even I am surprised by him." Beep, beep. After the boy said that, the car beeped the alarm twice as if it had responded, which made Scott even more excited. He also wanted to be able to install this in his car. "How many horses does the bee have?" Scott asked excitedly, remembering the name the boy said. He knew that car lovers liked to name their cars, just as Scott called his Corvette Scarlet because it was red, the kid calling his GTR B made sense because it was yellow. He knew that the most powerful GTR in the world had 2,500 horsepower, and by the speed that this boy passed him, the difference between them maybe wasn't too big. After all, Scott couldn't accurately measure the speed of the GTR when it was overtaken. Hearing Scott's question, the boy stopped to think for a while and answered. "I didn't get to pass him on the dyno, but I'd say maybe 4-5k horsepower as he hit 300 miles per hour on the road here." Hearing this, both Scott and Kurt felt their legs go wobbly. The most powerful GTR in the world only reached at 317 km/h, 197 miles per hour, and to hear that the B in front of them achieved almost 50% more than that shocked them. "Dude, what did you put on that hood?" "An airplane engine," Kurt asked. The boy just chuckled and nodded. "Almost that." Knowing the power of that car, Scott and Kurt didn't doubt what the boy said. The three talked for a few more minutes until the boy finished eating. "Do you guys know anything cool to do in town?" "It's my first time here and I wanted to have some fun," the boy asked. Discover W stories on noelbin.com. Upon hearing the boy's question, both Scott and Kurt remembered that they were going somewhere before stopping to talk to the boy. "Damn it, we forgot about meeting the girls." Kurt screamed in fright at the memory. "Jean will be furious," Scott complained. Until Kurt soon thought of something. "Hey bro, how about coming with us? We are going out with some friends to a festival they're having in town. Want to come with us? It'll be fun." Hearing this, the boy thought for a while before nodding his head and agreeing. Clear. Kurt and Scott were excited about this, as this kid seemed really cool, and since they shared the same tastes in cars, the three soon bonded. Deciding that the boy would follow them towards the festival, Scott and Kurt returned to the Corvette while the boy returned to the GTR. Hearing the almost deafening roar of the GTR's exhaust, Kurt and Scott exchanged glances and smiled excitedly at how beautiful the noise was. But on the way to the festival they noticed something. "We forgot to ask his name, didn't we?" Kurt laughed at the situation while Scott was a little embarrassed about it too. Meanwhile, in the Nissan GTR, Alex was belting out a song that was playing on the radio as he followed Scott's Corvette excitedly to this festival, hoping it would be fun. Chapter 59, Surprised Girls. Alex was quite surprised at the coincidence of meeting two of the X-Men while taking a walk while driving B. He passed by Scott's Corvette so fast that he hadn't recognized that he was driving it, but when he saw Scott wearing the red ruby glasses and Kurt beside him with slightly blue shoulder-length hair, it was easy to recognize the duo. As he saw that there were some shops selling Envy-style pizza around, Alex had decided to stop by to try the flavor, as he had never tasted it. Unfortunately, his expectation was not met, as he was only eating meals from the world of Shokugeki no Soma, where they managed to enhance the taste of food to the maximum. This pizza was not as delicious as he imagined. But that wasn't bad either, to the point where Alex ate it all. Remembering the name of the city, Alex realized that he had entered the city where the Xavier Institute was located, that is, the home of the X-Men. Knowing that the two boys he was talking to lived in this town, Alex decided to ask them if there was anything interesting he could do, as he wanted to take advantage of the day off. But he didn't imagine that Scott and Kurt would ask him to go to a festival with the other girls. Will Anna be there? Alex wondered as he drove behind Scott's Corvette. As the city is not a large metropolis, Scott's Corvette is already well known in the region, so despite being a very beautiful and eye-catching car, people passing by had already seen this car a few times, which lost some of its novelty. But the yellow GTR with that sporty look quickly attracted attention. Where they passed there were people pointing and picking up their cell phones to record. Initially Alex thought it was cool, but over time he got used to it. For someone who had millions of people staring at him in awe as he wore notches skin, having a few dozen people staring at him that way didn't affect him that much anymore. In a few minutes Alex saw a very busy square. Around there were many parked cars, which made it difficult for him to find spaces to park as well. Luckily Scott apparently went to a less crowded spot and parked next to a large SUV that looked a bit military. Perhaps this SUV is the car that the girls used to come. I remember that the Xavier Institute had many vehicles for various types of situations. Alex thought as he finally pulled up beside Scott. B. If anything suspicious happens, you can come to me in car form first. If I need your help you can transform into your robot mode, but let's avoid drawing attention to your robot mode for now. Alex explained, to which B agreed without a hitch. Alex, if there is a problem you can use this device. I noticed that several people were using something similar to record us on the way here, which I took the liberty of analyzing and playing a slightly improved version. B said as a yellow cell phone appeared in the glove compartment she just opened. Alex raised his eyebrow in surprise as he picked up his cell phone and looked at it. He was even surprised that the operating system was iOS, but remembering how advanced Transformers technology was, he soon understood that this was not that surprising. After all, for a robot that shoots lasers and can copy any car, it's not a big deal to just make a replica of a small cell phone. Looking at the phone, Alex thought it was cool that the skin also had some stickers from car equipment brands like HKS and Voltex, making the phone look like it was made exactly to match the car. Okay B. Alex said smiling as he opened the door and got out of the car. What's up with Scott? I thought he'd get there before us. Kitty complained as she looked around the place they agreed to park. I thought so too, since he drives like a maniac. Jean Grey also complained looking around. Only Anna stayed quiet as she leaned against the wall and fiddled with her cell phone without worrying too much. To be honest, she didn't even want to leave the house, but since she knew that the theme of this festival was interesting, she decided to come with the girls. The biggest reason she doesn't want to come is that Scott will probably be trying to get Jean's attention, even though she doesn't care much about him, while Kurt and Kitty will probably go off to play by themselves since they like more childish things. So, like most times she hung out with these four, she was likely to be left feeling isolated. Of course, Jean still paid attention to her, but she knew that Jean also liked Scott a little bit, so it was hard to feel good about it. Bro bo 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 bo. Soon a very loud noise attracted the attention of the three girls. Jean and Kitty stopped talking, while Anna stopped looking at her cell phone and the three looked in the direction of the noise. They knew that Scott's car engine was quite powerful and his car's exhaust made a lot of noise, but compared to the noise they were hearing it wasn't even close. All of a sudden they saw Scott's red Corvette coming around the corner in the distance and they thought he had done some modification to the car to make that noise, but a few seconds later a beautiful yellow sports car appeared following slowly behind Scott's car. What car is that? Kitty asked excitedly, as she had never seen that car before. Jean was also confused as she looked at that beautiful yellow car. Even she, who was not very fond of cars and previously felt that they were just means of transportation, now had to admit that this car looked very stylish. Only Anna recognized what car it was slightly. I think the name of that car is GTR. She had seen a video where a YouTuber had recently bought such a car, so the name of the car was still fresh in her memory. But this yellow GTR she was seeing was much prettier than what she saw in the video. Maybe this car will be modified. She soon deduced, when she heard the car rumble again. Discover W stories on noe.lbin.com. Thinking about how different this yellow GTR was compared to what she saw in the video, Anna was surprised to imagine how much time and effort this person put into the car. What surprised the girls even more was that when Scott pulled up next to them, the yellow GTR pulled up next to Scott. Maybe it's some friend of Scott's? Kitty asked confused. Since Scott's Corvette was a convertible, it was possible to see him and Kurt before they opened the door and got out of the car, but the GTR's windows were completely blacked out, making it impossible to see who was driving. It took the person inside the car a few seconds from the time he turned off the car until he opened the door, but when the boy left the room, the three girls had different reactions. Kitty thought it was really cute that the boy had teeth like a little animal. Jean was surprised that she wasn't hearing this boy's thoughts like she heard other people's. And Anna was surprised that the boy who got out of the car was exactly the kind of boy she liked. Chapter 60, Rest. Although Anna dressed in a goth style, she didn't like goth boys very much, since while she dressed like that, she was very vain, taking very good care of her hair, always treating her skin well, but the boys of this style were very careless, with long dry hair, almost always wearing old clothes, and some didn't even use perfume. The boy who left the GTR, who seemed to be a little older than her, had white hair and red eyes that resembled a vampire. If it weren't for the fact that his teeth looked like a little animal when he smiled, she would have thought she'd met a vampire. What a cute smile, she thought as she stared at the boy. When the boy looked at the three of them, suddenly his gaze met Anna's where they stared at each other for just a few seconds before Anna got a little embarrassed and looked away. The boy smiled even wider as he walked towards them, and put his cell phone in his pocket. Kitty was surprised when she saw that the boy's cell phone matched his car, which she thought was really cute. Hi girls, this is a friend we made on the way. We stopped to talk to him near that bubble tea shop that Kitty likes, so we were a little late. Kurt explained as he pointed at Alex. Scott also explained. He just arrived in town and asked if there was anything fun to do while he was here, so we asked him. Alex was quite relaxed and waved to the girls as he introduced himself with a smile. Hi girls, I'm Alex. Hi Alex. I'm Kitty. Kitty introduced herself with her lively personality. Oh, your name is like Kitten. Alex teased her, making the little girl smile excitedly. Yeah, she agreed. Hearing Kitty introduce herself, Jean snapped out of her surprise at not being able to read Alex's mind and politely introduced herself. Hi Alex, I'm Jean. Hello Jean. Alex responded politely as well, as she seemed like a more mature and serious girl. Glancing at the last girl, Alex saw that she was a little shy and waited. Hi. I'm Anna. Anna also introduced herself. Hi Anna, I like your hair, he said as he pointed to the white streaks in her hair, which made her smile. While Alex just took it naturally, the other four people were surprised to see Anna's attitude. She was always a girl with a very strong personality, which went well with her dark makeup, so to see her acting a little shy like she was, everyone was quite surprised. Seeing that everyone was a little pensive about something, Alex broke the silence as he looked at the two boys. What about you? You haven't told me your names yet, haha. Scott and Kurt looked a little embarrassed before replying with a smile. I'm Scott. I'm Kurt. Nodding, Alex asked again. What about the festival? What's the theme of it? Hearing this, the others got excited to remember and went to the SUV to get something from the trunk while answering. This isn't officially a festival, but the town's community decided they would meet to sell some Mina craft-related merchandise, you know. Kitty explained. Hearing this, Alex raised an eyebrow. Oh, I do. Sounds interesting. Even though Alex was the creator of Minecraft, he was curious about the game products these people made. Suddenly he saw that the five of them put on the Ender Dragon capes they received from the game, while Kurt asked him. Do you also have any Minecraft skins? Alex thought for a while before nodding and opening the trunk of the car. With the trunk open in a position they couldn't see, Alex spent one gaming point and exchanged it for an Ender Dragon cape as well, which surprised the X-Men group. Do you have a cape like that too? What's your in-game name? Kitty asked excitedly as she looked at Alex's cloak and saw that it was exactly like theirs. Alex just shook his head before explaining. I'm just a lone player. Seeing that Alex didn't want to say much, they soon changed the subject and walked towards the festival. While driving, Alex hadn't noticed the other people wearing capes, but now that he was walking in the crowd, Alex noticed that there were many people wearing the capes with the H of the players that protected the Hypixel. This cape was not like the Ender Dragon cape, where the player received it for free. The Hypixel cape had to be paid for by the player in order to be able to bring this to the real world. And Alex didn't give a discount. To produce one skin of this era it took one gaming point, so Alex set the price of the skin to $220, so he could still profit from sales. Due to the high price, not many people bought it, but this small amount was only compared to the total amount of players. The last time Alex saw the cover sales, the total number had already exceeded 500,000 units sold. This gave Alex a profit of 50,000 gaming points, which wasn't that much compared to the total amount he had now, but it was still a very useful amount. Look, that store is selling golden apples. Kurt was excited as he headed toward the store. The others were also curious and went to see this apple. When they passed among the people, everyone looked at them in amazement due to the Ender Dragon cloaks they were wearing. As much as there were some stores selling counterfeit covers, no store could imitate the quality of the original covers, which was seen at a glance. I mean, for this group of people, seeing this group of 6 people with Ender Dragon capes, it could only mean that it was 6 people who actually killed the Ender Dragon in the early days of Minecraft. Is that yummy? Kitty asked curiously as she looked at Kurt eating the golden apple. Kurt just put on an ordinary expression and took another bite before answering. It's a love apple with a golden color. Hearing this, the other people were a little disappointed, but they still decided to buy a golden apple. The sock of this content N-O-V-L-by-N. Even Alex bought one and started to eat while looking around. Looking to the side, Alex saw that Anna was a little uncomfortable and asked her. Everything is fine. Anna saw Alex's concern and just sighed. I just don't feel very good in crowds. Alex nodded and started talking to her to see if she could distract. Surrounding them were various Minecraft-themed things, but nothing that Alex found particularly interesting. The things that sold the most were replicas of diamond capes or swords, which coincidentally was also something that sold a lot in his previous world. Despite these things being interesting to others, Alex just felt like something average. That was kind of fun, said Kitty as they walked back to their cars, while carrying various accessories that she thought were cool. Even Jean, Kurt, and Scott were carrying a lot of stuff, which left only Alex and Anna carrying nothing but a diamond sword in Anna's hand and a pair of Blaze's head plushies that Alex bought to hang on Bee's rearview mirror. You like yellow, right? Anna asked as she looked at the yellow plushies in Alex's hands, and thinking about his matching car and cell phone, she was even more sure of it. Alex looked at her and smiled. It's a beautiful color. When the X-Men finished packing the boxes in the SUV, they asked Alex. Hey Alex, what about going to our house? We are going to order pizza today. Scott invited Alex. But thinking it was almost night, Alex was a bit tired and intended to go home first while he got back to developing Fortnite. Sorry guys, I still have work to do, maybe next week. Alex answered. Hearing this, they were a little disappointed, but reluctantly accepted. Okay, anything I'll message you. Kurt waved his cell phone. Alex had exchanged phone numbers with everyone, which would make it easier to contact him the next time he went out to rest. When Alex left in his GTR, Jean commented something that made the others startle. I think he's also a mutant.